Hey, so if you are on your spiritual journey, if you are walking a spiritual path and you're wanting to tune in and really get information and guidance and clarity from your own spiritual team, then I recommend that you make time and create a space for yourself where you can do that in the morning, preferably, or whenever you can carve out the opportunity, because I know like life is crazy, right? But do it before you have breakfast or anything to eat. Do it before you have anything on your stomach that is going to require your body to process and digest that. And the reason for that is because our guts are so powerful at being receptors of energy that we cannot always understand it with our mental self, right? With our mind. So, when you get gut feelings, when you get butterflies in your stomach, all of these are cues from your body that it is sensing energy that you may not notice or comprehend with your physical eyes. So, if you can wait to put anything inside your body when you are wanting to receive messages, when you are needing to receive a download or clarity, it helps because it gives you that extra sensory perception, right? It gives you that added boost in having things coming in through your mind's eye, via your ears, or the sensations in your body, tingling, anything that you can feel. Not everyone has the ability to physically feel sensations and know what they mean or how to apply them to what questions you are asking. But I have found that immensely keeping that open, I'm sorry, let me say it differently. Keeping that channel open helps immensely, right? Knowing that there's nothing that my body is having to process physically, like food, coffee, things like that, when it is just open to receiving. It's already been on a fasting state. There's nothing that should be in my system causing any type of delay in communication, um, or um, distraction from my body being able to help process that energy. So it sounds a little crazy, right? But if you want to get messages, clarity on something, do it before you've eaten or drinking anything that has a stimulant in it, right? Give your body that extra space to be clear and clean so that when you are asking and things are coming in, it is not boggled down doing other processes. And then the next thing I would recommend is to get a journal, or if you don't like journaling, you can type it into your phone. And if that doesn't work for you, then you can voice record yourself. But you want to be able to really sit and analyze and write down, in some way, some shape or form, save the insights that you are getting. Like, it doesn't matter if you're getting hit with colors or if you're getting hit with names, or you see certain objects, or you think of a person, or, any of that. You need to be able to write that down and document it when you are getting things coming in, or pains in your body, whatever you are feeling. You want to be able to document that in some way, so that way you can develop your own, I want to say language, but essentially how your team communicates with you is going to be unique to you. So certain pains or certain thoughts, colors, sounds, certain smells, all of that is going to have a specific meaning to you. And you want to have a documentation system in place when you are first learning how to harness and listen to and receive intuitive hits. And the way you get better at it is just by practicing and listing this stuff down so you have something to fall back on. And if you are just beginning this, there's a good chance that when you get messages or angel numbers or images, you're not going to know what it means right then. I have found for me, as I journey and as I connect to my intuition, that In the beginning, the messages I got, I wouldn't know what they meant, or even if I knew what the messages meant, it didn't apply to me at that moment. It was something that was either going to be used later on, or it was something to refer back to an experience I had already had and moved past, right? And the more intuitive I get, and the easier it is for me to recognize that intuition, that voice, or those thoughts, it's more immediate. Like, I'm having intuitive hits where I will think something, and I think it's just my brain thinking it, and then whatever I thought or I said that might happen actually happens. So I know that that's not me just thinking of it. That literally is like my premonition system, like coming in like, hey, what about this? And if I don't act on it, or I don't use that information, I then somewhat suffer consequences, right? Because I knew, but I didn't integrate that into my life, into my experience to help me. And that's what intuition is, right? It's an inner knowing, it's an inner guidance system that is meant to help you. So if you are wanting to tap into it, try to do it when you don't have anything. Try to create a space where you can have some calm, some quiet. Try to do it in the morning, or when you are capable of carving out time to receive these messages. Do it when you don't have anything in your system that your body is processing. And then make sure you have a way of documenting any hits or misses that you're getting. And I would simply put, if you had a certain question you were asking for clarity on, write that down. Write down what day it is. I like to check and see what the astrological influences are, just to note it, because I've noticed for me, different movements affect my emotions, affect how energized and motivated or unmotivated I am feeling. So for me, it's helpful to have that in there, so that way if I get going and I feel like I'm in a rut, I can look and see if it's just partially, in part, because I'm feeling the energy around the collective energy, the planetary energy. Another thing is, to give yourself grace and not doubt your ability to do this. A lot of times when we are learning something new, it's not fucking easy. And this is something that most of us were not brought up or taught by somebody physically one-on-one on how to do this and how to recognize it. So if you are documenting your journey, if you're documenting signs and things that you are getting, you will start to know that it's easier for you to recognize your voice versus intuition. And it's easy for you to recognize what are actually signs and helpers from the universe when you see them out about in your life. Angel numbers are a big one for me. I see them all the time. I'm actually stalked by the number 22 in a ridiculous way. And I know that because we're not raised in a society where we talk about and learn and share these things, we are now. We will be moving towards that. But because we haven't been, it feels almost unnatural to try to listen within and get that guidance. So give yourself grace, give yourself time, be patient with yourself as you are developing this. Another way, once you feel like you are getting like decent intuitive hits, get some intuitive tools, right? Get some card decks with either Oracle if you want just general messages, or Tarot if you want more specific messages. You could get runes. Excuse me. I actually have a book. I want to do runes. I feel drawn to runes, but I don't have a good, I don't really have a good teacher for runes, right? Like tarot is easy. They have specific meanings. The same goes for the runes, but or throwing bones, right? Charms, like throwing that. Something I've recently started that was really intimidating for me, because I don't know how to throw bones. I don't know how to throw charms and know what means what. Like, it's just, but I want to. So thankfully, the universe blessed me. My sister-in-law sent me a charm casting kit that is great. It has a little paper that you can lay out and you roll them on and you see what touches and all that. But what I'm saying is, you have to find the way to get that knowledge for yourself if you don't have somebody who is willing to share it with you. back to the rune things. I want to learn runes, but I'm not familiar with them. I am familiar with cards, so I picked up a while ago a deck of cards that has the runes. So each card has a rune on it with an image. So it's very much like an oracle or tarot card, and that it has a specific meaning, but it has the rune on there. So for me, that's an easier way for me to learn the rune system than just getting a handful of runes and going through and trying to intuitively feel the message when I'm not sure how that message system is drawn and worded, right? So this helps me learn it in a way that is physical, something I can see physically, both picture and or the meaning behind it, and that way I can memorize the rune with that. So after practicing with that, when I get a set of runes, then it's going to be an easier way for me to actually toss or grab, and feel it and know what it means without having to feel it, grab it, look at it, and go, I have no fucking idea what this is, and then go and look it up, right? Which can be the case with creating some resistance to wanting to learn something new because it's not easy and it's not fun. So you have to find ways to make, if it's something you want to grow, if it's something you want to tap into and harness, then you need to find ways that you can do that, right? Find ways that you can make it fun and exciting and rewarding for learning your intuition, learning how to notice it and how to communicate with your guides, which is a huge part for me of being spiritual, is realizing that I'm not just out here on some blind path, lost and alone. I have guidance all around me, and learning how to listen to and tap into that guidance has been important in making me feel like I'm safe and I have that connection, even when I don't have somebody physically next to me to train me and teach me all these things. So I hope that if you are on a path where you're trying to develop that within yourself, when you are trying to connect deeper with yourself and your spirit team, that this kind of gives you some helpful hints and some encouragement to keep going. I want you to know that you are absolutely capable of being a magical badass who is able to connect with things that we have not always been taught about and not always have the opportunity to experience for ourselves. So I hope this helps you. I love you. I wish you the best on your journey, and I'll talk to you soon.